Hi everyone, my name is Esfredo, and I humbly welcome you back to my channel, where we are back again with our reaction videos. And as we are acknowledging this particular piece, it is from Turning Point UK, and it is titled as Charlie Kirk Finishes Race Beta. Without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, please sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this beautiful piece to the fullest. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Do you think people should be judged based on the color of their skin?
Never.
It's not that I think that, but it's that it's happening, and you cannot ignore that. I might not be treated the same as him as
so
he walks.
You're right. It is happening. Like at Coca-Cola, they say they need to train their employees to abolish whiteness. At AT&T, they said they would need to train their employees to get rid of whiteness. We have a supply and demand issue with racism in our country. We have an incredibly low supply of racism and incredible demand to try to fulfill it. So we've created racism where it doesn't exist and try to turn everyone into mini racists against each other, which has now manifested itself into a massive anti-white movement in our country, where I believe, more than anything else, we should care about character, not skin color. Do you agree with that?
It's not. I don't believe that you understand what I'm saying. It's not that I don't agree with not. I'm sorry. Oh, it's not that I don't agree with, you know, what you just said, but you have to realize that black people are like, white people are not being hunted after. Y'all can come here and live a great freaking life. Alabama is a safe haven. These PhD fraternities and sororities are a safe haven
You
for white
think you're
people.
being hunted?
Let me tell. Okay, y'all can laugh, but until you have walked as a black person on this campus, y'all truly don't understand. And I've gone to school with white people my whole life. I've gone.
So
but it's just.
I will end with this. You're not being hunted at the University of Alabama, and there is no boogeyman that's trying to get you.
It's not. You're making it seem.
You live in the least racist country in the history of the world.
You're in Alabama. You are literally in the place where it's not okay.
You mean the place that has given you more talking time than any other person here, and where they sit respectfully.
You're supposed to shut me down and be like, go sit down? I mean, of course I'm going to talk to you.
That would have happened 100 years ago. You're right. 100 years ago, you might not have been allowed to come into this room, which would have been evil. No. Instead, we are here. We're creating a movement to say we never want to go back to the segregation that once existed in this country, that is now being pushed by people in corporate America, in academia, and other places. We want to strive for a country that cares about character and the soul and the spirit of the individual, not on tribes, not on the melanin content in people's skin. And I will say this as compassionately as I can, is that you are not being hunted as a black person in America. There's not a single statistic that affirms that. There's not a single data point. Instead, the opposite is true. We are the least racist, most accepting, multiracial country in the history of the planet, and I pray one day you'll be thankful to live in that country. Okay. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you.
Everybody.
CJ, come here. Really quick. I have a question. Come here. Go right there. So CJ, just really quick, you're a black person. Are you hunted at the university?
You know, I don't feel hunted at this university, but I guess the difference between me and some people here is that I don't choose to be a victim, Charlie, which I think is the biggest problem we have here today, are people who wake up every single day looking for a reason to be oppressed, looking for a reason to cry and make an excuse about why they're not in a position to go win. I don't see the color of my skin as a disability. I see it as simply an accessory that I couldn't control. I've been black all my life. I've been black today, and I'm thriving here. I think that's a roll tide right there, right?
And so CJ, let me ask you, CRT, racist?
It's not just racist, it's the exact iteration of white supremacy, just in reverse. I think it's important that we start teaching young people not to hate other people because of the color of their skin. We can teach black people to be proud of who they are without telling white people they should be ashamed of who they are. You know?
Amen. Yeah. So, closing thought, CJ. Is this trying to divide the country?
It's not only trying to divide the country, it's trying to break apart the foundation upon which it was built. You know, people forget the words of MLK, Rosa Parks, all those people who fought so hard for us to be a united country, where we didn't see the color of one's skin, but their character. This is about taking us away from the vision and the dream of Martin Luther King and just taking us to the dream of Kamala Harris, and I don't want to live that dream.
Amen. CJ, you're a great American. Give it up for CJ, everybody. So good.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so this has been another beautiful conversation between Charlie Kirk and a couple of college students. Society has actually come of age whereby there are a lot of, whereby there are a lot of laws and enactments that are protecting the rights of individuals regardless of their skin color, race, or ancestry. The legendary Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream that one day his children will be able to walk on the streets freely, and his grandchildren or great-grandchildren will be judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. As a gentleman in the question, that's CJ. As CJ made mention of the past, if we keep dwelling on something of the sort, it's definitely going to be like the fight that was actually fought by the likes of Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King will be in vain, bro. Because I believe society has come of age whereby their dreams has actually come into fruition. You understand? What they dreamt of in the past has actually manifested today. I wouldn't say there's nothing like racism in existence today, bro. Clearly there are one or two people who still harbor certain things in heart regarding racism. But I believe institutions and the world at large is against racism as a whole. You understand what I'm talking about? Recently, not long ago, a friend of mine who is in one of the European countries said something to me that there was this particular time a white lady was being racist to my race in a train. And guess what? A couple of white people and other black people in that same bus were all against the white person who was being racist to that gentleman. So you see, that's even a clear indication that the world itself is against racism today. Clearly, just a handful of people who are still trying to be racist in their day-to-day activities. But as I keep saying, I always believe and pray that this will be a thing of the past. This will be a thing of the past. And let me reiterate the dream of Martin Luther King Jr. that one day people will be judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. I keep saying that I always dream of a peaceful world, bro. I always dream of a peaceful world. A world where we get to love each other. We get to love ourselves, regardless of the color of our skin or where we do trace our ancestry. The lady said something that if you are not careful, you wouldn't understand. She made mention of being hunted as a black person on campus. Normally, I find it difficult to comment on something of the sort because trust me, you wouldn't understand it if you've not been in the person's shoe. I've never schooled in America, I've never schooled in Alabama, so I can't really hit on what the lady was coming from. I could even sense that she was being emotional with her delivery. There's a possibility she has even experienced something of the sort. And as I made mention previously, though the world itself is somehow against racism enough, it's somehow against racism today. Definitely, there are one or two people who are still being racist. So there's a possibility she has experienced something of the sort from one or two people. If that's clearly the case, then whoever made the lady to feel she is being hunted, you need to be very ashamed of yourself, bro. You need to be ashamed of yourself. Because you need to be ashamed of yourself. Because a whole lot of us, as I said previously, are preaching for a world of peace. A world where we can all love ourselves regardless of the color of our skin. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I believe I've said a lot about this particular piece. I will end here. Well, if you love the content I do create, or if you love what I do, and you genuinely want to be part of this beautiful family, do what? Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and keep your comments coming. Peace.